Diver X announced their new upcoming VR product that is called the half-dive VR headset. And just like the name implies, it is very close to the full dive technology. Now we got a lot of details about this upcoming headset. The first one being that this headset is meant to be used while laying down on your bed, just as we see in, for example, Sword Art Online. Now up until now, most general VR headsets were what we call VR HMDs. Now this stands for Virtual Reality Head-Mounted Displays. Now this means that the normal VR headsets need to use the user's head to have it attached to their face. Now an important thing of these headsets is that a lot of companies try to make the smallest and most lightweight headsets that are possible. And this is to increase the comfort of the VR user. However, this always led to a lot of trade-offs. Because if you wanted more processing power or better hardware, this would also mean it would increase the size and the weight of the product, which would make it more uncomfortable. However, when you're laying down on your bed, it doesn't matter how big the headset is or how much it weighs. And because of that, this new half-dive VR headset can have so many crazy cool technology components in there without needing the trade-off of the weight and size. And these are functions that most normal VR users always wanted but could not implement in their headsets. Now, as you can see in this picture, the unit itself consists of a headset that is mounted to a base. And this whole VR unit can then be put on top of a bed or a couch and then be used by just laying down. But the craziest part is what this VR headset is capable of doing. The first one being that it has a 3D sound system built into it. This means that by using multiple speakers, you will be able to hear the sound from every single direction. This makes it so much more immersive and very similar to what we hear in real life. On top of that, it's rocking a crazy lens setup that makes use of 10 spherical lenses that tries to solve the problem of a small field of view and increase it to a total of 134 degrees. Now this is 34% more than most of the competitors. And it also has some crazy fans built into it that will give you wind feedback to make your immersive VR experience even more realistic. But at the same time, it could also cool down the user as well. But it doesn't stop there. Now the controllers that they use are also very interesting. As noted in the diagram, they're gonna be using force feedback modules that will let you feel and touch the objects in a VR space. And it could be so precise as even feeling the cut of a sword or feeling friction in general. And they want to provide this by using haptic feedback. Now a way of achieving this is by, for example, what we see in a lot of these high-end VR gloves that could really make you feel like you're in a virtual reality world and where you can touch and sense everything around you. Now, of course, the next question would be, how would you actually move your VR character if you're laying down on your bed? And they also found a solution for this, where they used what they call foot controllers. Now these controllers both track and sense your movement of your feet. And by tilting your feet to one direction or moving forward and backward with them, you could actually move your character in virtual reality as well. They even said that this headset will be modular to add more crazy features in the future, like force feedback modules, sensory feedback modules, and even wireless communication. Now all of this together really is a headset that is the first step to a full dive VR future. Of course, there are many questions still of how this product will actually work, but I think the name half dive is very well chosen. And it's interesting to see that there's VR companies that try to take a complete different approach from what the rest of the market is doing.